Remember when Vegas promised, "What happens here stays here"? Well, in 2025, the only thing staying is your money. The Strip once overflowed with cheap buffets and endless comps. Now it's $55 fees, $26 cocktails, and ghost-like casinos where middle-class travelers are priced out. Vegas didn't just change the rules, it cashed out on its own soul. And visitors, they've had enough. The truth is, Las Vegas didn't collapse overnight. It slowly priced out the very people who kept it alive. Tourists once came here for cheap thrills, spontaneous fun, and the feeling that Vegas was for everyone. But by 2025, the city has turned into something far less inviting. Visitor numbers are down more than 10%, the sharpest drop in half a century, and anyone who walks the Strip can see why. Rooms advertised at $39 end up costing $90 after fees, burgers top $30, and casinos feel more like luxury showrooms than places to let loose. Longtime fans who once came 5 times a year now swear they'll never return. Foreign travelers, once a vital lifeline, are staying away too. In this video, we're breaking down 7 powerful reasons why the city that once promised joy for everyone now feels like a trap for the wealthy. By the end, you'll understand exactly why so many tourists are staying away. The Vegas scam everyone hates. For decades, Las Vegas was famous for cheap rooms that gave ordinary travelers a chance to live large for a weekend. A $20 motel on the Strip, a $39 mid-tier hotel, maybe even a free upgrade if you gambled a little, that was the deal. Today, those deals are dead, replaced by one of the most hated practices in modern tourism, the resort fee. Hotels advertise bargain rates, but the number on the billboard is little more than bait. You see $39 a night, but after fees, that same room can climb past $90 on a weekday or even $226 on a weekend. It's not just the resort fee either. Parking, which used to be free everywhere, now adds $25 a day. Taxes pile on top. Even basic amenities like a refrigerator cost extra. Guests report filling trash bins with ice just to keep water bottles cold. What do you actually get for a resort fee? Basic Wi-Fi, a gym, pool access, maybe a phone line. Things most hotels worldwide include for free. To many visitors, this feels like legalized robbery, and the psychological effect is worse than the financial hit. Imagine arriving excited for your Vegas weekend, only to be told your $39 room really costs triple that. Before you even hit the casino floor, you feel cheated. On Reddit, TripAdvisor, and YouTube, angry posts about nickel and dimming dominate Vegas discussions. Former loyal visitors say, "I used to come 5 times a year, now I won't come back at all." That's the long-term damage. Vegas built its brand on generosity, cheap entry, free perks, and the sense that the city wanted you there. Those low barriers brought crowds who spent money in casinos, shows, and restaurants, but by chasing short-term revenue with hidden fees, Vegas has flipped its own formula. Instead of feeling welcomed, guests feel exploited. Instead of spreading good word of mouth, they warn friends to stay away. The result? Empty hallways, quiet lobbies, and a reputation that's spiraling downward. Vegas thought it was squeezing more profit from each visitor, but in reality, it's driving away the very middle-class travelers who made it thrive. Resort fees aren't just an annoyance, they symbolize the betrayal of Vegas's original promise. Killing the buffet dream. Ask anyone who loved the old Vegas what made it magical, and the answer usually starts with food. For decades, Vegas was famous for cheap buffets, 99 C's, shrimp cocktails, and breakfast specials under $1. Food wasn't just fuel, it was part of the experience. Casinos deliberately kept prices low because they knew once people sat down to eat, they'd stick around to gamble. Fast forward to 2025, and that tradition has been obliterated. Breakfast for 2 can easily run $50. A simple burger costs $32. 6 chicken wings are $19, and 2 shots with a Red Bull can top $67. Even a can of Coke can set you back $5. The sticker shock is so absurd that many tourists now joke that eating in Vegas is a gamble in itself. Buffets, once a defining symbol of Las Vegas, are now priced at $40, $60 per person, often with limited selection and lackluster quality. Online reviews are full of disappointment: soggy pasta, cold fried chicken, and no crab legs in sight. The all-you-can-eat dream has turned into all-you-can-afford if you're rich. And it's not just buffets. Bars and lounges have followed the same path. Cocktails average $20 to $26, while high-end venues casually charge $100 to $29 for a single shot of premium liquor. For middle-class families or groups of friends, these prices make casual fun nearly impossible. Instead of grabbing a cheap meal and going back to the tables, visitors now spend half their budget just trying to eat. The social effect is devastating. In the past, food was a magnet that kept energy flowing. Crowded buffets gave Vegas its atmosphere of abundance and generosity. Today, overpriced dining has sucked that energy out of the city. Empty restaurants, long lines at fast food joints, and disappointed travelers are the new reality. When even loyal visitors say, "I remember 99 Cent shrimp cocktails. Now I can't even get a Coke for $5. You know the magic has been replaced by frustration. Las Vegas killed one of its greatest traditions, and in doing so, it killed a big piece of its soul, a playground for the 1%. The most striking change in Las Vegas isn't just higher prices, it's who the city now caters to. In the past, middle-class families from Ohio, retirees from the Midwest, and young couples on a budget all felt welcome. They could book a cheap room, grab a $9.99 buffet, and feel like high rollers for a weekend. In 2025, that vision has been replaced by something far more exclusive. Walk through the massive shopping arcades attached to casinos, and you'll see names like Prada, Dior, and Bulgari, stores that sell handbags bolted to displays because they cost thousands of dollars. Restaurants proudly list $400 caviar and $300 bottles of wine. Bars casually charge $129 for a single shot of liquor. The message is clear. If you're not wealthy, you don't belong. The transformation is more than cosmetic. Casinos that once thrived on volume now chase fewer, wealthier customers who can drop thousands in a single evening. Limousines line up outside hotels while the middle-class travelers who once formed the heartbeat of Vegas are gone. Social media is full of bitter comments from longtime fans. Vegas doesn't want us anymore. It only wants the rich. That exclusionary vibe is changing the spirit of the Strip. Where there used to be laughter, cheap drinks, and spontaneous fun, now there's a subdued atmosphere of upscale shopping malls and velvet rope bars. The irony is painful. Las Vegas built its legend as the escape valve for everyday Americans, a place where you could feel extravagant for a fraction of the cost. By turning itself into a luxury showroom, the city has abandoned that promise. Yes, some wealthy visitors are still willing to pay, but the broad base that once made Vegas vibrant is slipping away. A city once proud of welcoming everyone has become a gated playground for the 1%, and the price of that shift is emptier casinos and a fading sense of magic. The fun has left the building. Another reason tourists are souring on Las Vegas is that the service culture has collapsed under the weight of corporate control. In the 1980s and 1990s, casinos showered players with comps, free buffets, discounted rooms, even show tickets. Dealers called you by name, cocktail waitresses kept your glass full, and blackjack tables started at $3. It wasn't just gambling, it was hospitality. By 2025, that atmosphere is gone. Visitors complain of sterile, corporate environments where everything feels transactional. Blackjack tables now start at $25 or higher, comps are rare, and cocktail service is slow or non-existent unless you tip heavily. Housekeeping no longer cleans daily unless you pay extra. Want fresh towels? Call the front desk. Trash overflowing? Handle it yourself. These cutbacks, once unimaginable in Vegas, are now the norm. Even longtime players admit the vibe has changed. One traveler told a reporter, "I used to feel like a guest. Now I feel like a number." On Reddit, complaints pile up about poor customer service and nickel and dime charges at every turn. The corporate mindset has stripped away the charm and spontaneity that once defined Vegas. Visitors say casinos feel like sterile shopping malls filled with slot machines rather than vibrant playgrounds of excitement. The impact is obvious. When tourists don't feel special, they don't return. And the irony is brutal. By trying to save money on labor and perks, casinos are losing the very loyalty that made them profitable. The wow factor that once kept people coming back again and again has been replaced by frustration and indifference. What was once an immersive, people-driven experience has become cold, mechanical, and joyless. And when the service is gone, the soul of Las Vegas goes with it. The world has moved on. One of the less obvious but most damaging shifts in Las Vegas is the disappearance of foreign tourists. For decades, Vegas was an international magnet. Canadians flew south for cheap flights and warm weather. Europeans came to experience the neon dream they saw in Hollywood movies, and high-rolling Asian gamblers filled VIP rooms, dropping thousands of dollars on baccarat and roulette. In 2025, that global mix is noticeably thinner. The file footage makes it clear the so-called Trump slump, trade tensions, and visa restrictions have scared away entire groups. Canada, once a reliable pipeline of visitors, has cut back sharply. Many Latino travelers avoid the U.S. altogether due to fear of immigration crackdowns. Even more telling is the absence of Asian whales, the deep-pocketed gamblers from China and Korea who once defined Vegas's high-stakes tables. Entire VIP rooms now sit empty. But beyond the politics, there's a deeper truth. The world has caught up to Vegas. Macau now generates more gambling revenue than Nevada. Singapore and the Philippines have created casino resorts that rival the Strip in luxury while offering better service. Even online gambling apps let people bet live with a dealer from their living room. For international visitors, Vegas no longer feels essential. The impact isn't just economic, it's cultural. In the 1990s, walking down the Strip felt like crossing borders. You'd hear French, Mandarin, Spanish, and German all around you. That diversity gave Vegas its electric energy. Today, the crowd feels narrower, wealthier, and more American. Instead of a global festival, it's a gated party. The loss of international visitors strips Vegas of its status as a world city. Without that mix of accents, styles, and spending power, the Strip feels less like a crossroads of humanity and more like a mall for the U.S. upper class. Vegas thought it could survive without the world, but when the world moves on, it takes more than money. It takes the magic. The Strip was once defined by spontaneity. You could stumble into a lounge at 2 a.m. and find a live band playing. You could grab a cheap buffet after a night at the tables or wander outside with a yard-long margarita and be surrounded by strangers laughing and dancing. Vegas was unpredictable, chaotic, and alive. By 2025, that spirit has been replaced by something more controlled, the event economy. Instead of selling constant fun, Vegas now sells tickets. Concerts at the Sphere, residencies by megastars, UFC fights, hockey and WNBA games, all heavily promoted, all expensive. Yes, these events bring crowds, but they change the entire atmosphere. Tourists now plan their trips around fixed schedules instead of simply arriving and letting the city sweep them up. The Strip feels less like a carnival and more like a convention calendar. Even restaurants are shifting towards celebrity chef experiences rather than affordable, spontaneous dining. The problem is that spontaneity was the heartbeat of Las Vegas. It's what made ordinary people feel extraordinary, that anything could happen at any moment. Today, unless you have hundreds of dollars for tickets, you're left wandering past velvet ropes and sold-out signs. The crowds you see are funneled into arenas and showrooms, while the casino floors and sidewalks feel strangely subdued. Locals and repeat visitors notice it most. Vegas used to surprise me. Now it just schedules me. That's a damning review for a city built on freedom and escape. The irony is clear. In trying to compete with other entertainment capitals, Las Vegas has traded away its greatest asset, spontaneous joy. By turning into an event city, Vegas may still fill seats, but it empties the streets. And without that wild, unpredictable energy, the Strip no longer feels like the world's ultimate playground. It feels like an itinerary. Why travelers don't need Vegas anymore? For most of its history, Las Vegas thrived because it had no real competition. If you wanted bright lights, cheap buffets, and 24-hour gambling, there was nowhere else like it. But in 2025, travelers who feel priced out or disappointed by Vegas have options, and they're taking them. Just 90 minutes south, Laughlin attracts middle-class families with affordable rooms, cheaper meals, and a relaxed vibe along the Colorado River. Reno, once overlooked, is rebranding itself with a growing tech economy and smaller but friendlier casinos. Across the U.S., tribal casinos now rival Vegas properties in both scale and amenities, offering free parking, lower table minimums, and customer service that feels old-school generous. For international visitors, Macau has already overtaken Vegas in gambling revenue, while Singapore and Manila offer integrated resorts that blend luxury with better value. And then there's online gambling, which has exploded globally. Why spend thousands to fly to Vegas when you can play live blackjack on your phone with a real dealer from your couch? These alternatives aren't just cheaper. They're stealing the one thing Vegas can't afford to lose: loyalty. When a Canadian family realizes Laughlin gives them a full weekend for half the cost, why go back to the Strip? When Asian high rollers can spend big in Macau without the hassle of U.S. politics and visa restrictions, why fly across the Pacific? Even Americans who once made annual pilgrimages to Vegas are now content visiting a local tribal casino or firing up an app. The danger for Las Vegas isn't just empty rooms, it's irrelevance. The city once sold itself as the only place where you could find non-stop fun. Now, it's one of many choices and often not the best one. As long as alternatives keep offering what Vegas has lost, affordability, service, spontaneity, the Strip will keep bleeding visitors. The story of Las Vegas in 2025 isn't just about higher prices or fewer tourists. It's about identity. For decades, Vegas thrived on a simple formula. Make it cheap to arrive, then let the city's energy, gambling, and entertainment pull people deeper into the experience. That balance between accessibility and indulgence created loyalty. But by flipping the formula, charging high entry costs while offering less in return, Vegas risks alienating the very foundation of its success. The danger isn't only empty hotel rooms, it's the erosion of trust. Once people feel scammed, they don't just spend less, they stop coming altogether. Meanwhile, competing destinations like Macau, Singapore, and even online platforms are rewriting the rules of leisure. They offer clear value, better service, and fewer hidden tricks. If Vegas refuses to adapt, it could cement a reputation as a city that sold its soul for short-term profit, and reputations, once lost, are hard to win back. The deeper question is, can Las Vegas reinvent itself without abandoning the middle class completely? History shows the city is capable of reinvention. It survived the 2008 recession, changing gambling laws, even the pandemic shutdown. But every reinvention that worked had one thing in common: it kept people feeling welcome. If the city wants a future beyond high roller exclusivity, it must find a way to restore that sense of generosity and spontaneity. Otherwise, Las Vegas may remain busy in bursts, but it will never recover the magic that once made it the world's Las Vegas. Isn't dead, but it's not the city it used to be. Once a playground for everyone, it now feels like a gated community for the wealthy, leaving behind the middle-class travelers who gave it life. 7 reasons make this shift undeniable, from hidden fees to the loss of international visitors. The question is, can Vegas rediscover its magic, or has it cashed out for good? We want to hear from you. Would you still visit Vegas in 2025, or do you think it's no longer worth it? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you found this breakdown eye-opening, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. More untold stories are coming, and you won't want to miss them.